Your child says they want to live with you and they mean it. But how much does that actually matter in a Wisconsin custody case? I'm Jeff Hughes, lead attorney at Sterling Lawyers. I'll show you exactly how Wisconsin courts handle a child's wishes, when it matters, how it's communicated, and what judges really look for when a child voices a preference. Number one, your child's wishes matter, but they do not decide a case. A lot of parents come to me and they say, my child wants to live with me. And you know what? They assume that that settles the matter. But Wisconsin law is clear. The child's wishes are but one factor, not the deciding one. The guiding principle is always the best interest of the child, not just what they say and want. What a child wants definitely matters, but what they need matters a whole lot more. So does age matter? Do older kids get to decide? That brings up number two. There is no age where a child gets to choose custody and placement. Some parents believe that once a child turns 13 or 14, they can just pick which parent they live with. Not true. There is no magic age in Wisconsin where a child gets to decide. The power always stays with the judge, the court. That said, as children get older, particularly around the age of 14 and older, their opinions tend to carry a lot more weight, especially if they can articulate clear reasoning and with maturity as to what they want and why they want it. One example that we have seen involves a judge who wanted to give strong consideration to a 15-year-old girl who wanted to live with her father. Not because of fun or freedom, but because of stability, support, and a better school routine. That mature reasoning made all the difference in the judge's final decision. But how does a court even hear what a child wants? That brings up number three, how a child's wishes are communicated. Look, children don't testify in open court, and they should not have to choose between one parent or the other on the court record. Instead, their preferences are usually shared through number one, a guardian ad litem, two, a private conversation with the judge, and most often in the judge's office called the judge's chambers, or number three, another neutral professional that is involved in the case. By law, the guardian ad litem must communicate the child's wishes to the court unless the child specifically asks them not to. So if a child wants to live with one parent over the other, how does the judge know if that preference is legitimately expressed with maturity and good reasoning? That brings up number four, what judges look for in a child's preference. Judges don't just ask what a child wants. They ask why. A preference based on things like more video games, fewer rules, bigger allowance. Look, that does not hold much weight with a judge. But if the child can express ideas and concepts around emotional comfort, a more consistent, stable routine, or feeling safe and supported, well, if that can be pulled out of the child in a legitimate, sincere way, the judges give great weight to those kind of wishes. It's not just about a child's preference. It's about the underlying reason behind that preference. And this is where the guardian ad litem plays a pivotal role. That brings up number five. The guardian ad litem just doesn't echo the child's preferences. Look, the guardian ad litem is not there just to pass messages between the judge and the child. The guardian ad litem is there to investigate. They do so by interviewing the child. They investigate both households, most often making home visits to those different homes. They review school and medical records. They talk to teachers, coaches, counselors, other family members, and any third party that has regular routine contact with the child. And sometimes their final recommendation does align with the child's preferences. Other times it doesn't. And if they believe something else is in the child's best interest, they will recommend that instead to the court. The guardian ad litem is focused on protecting the child and their best interest, not on pleasing the child. Let's quickly tie this into what the law actually says on this. And this is important to know going into a case. Wisconsin Law 767.41 parentheses 5 says that judges must consider the child's wishes when deciding custody and placement. 767.407 number 4 says that guardian ad litems are required to report the child's wishes unless the child objects. So yes, it is in the law where a child can express their preferences. But again, it is a factor, not the final vote from the child. But what if your child gets older? Can they eventually choose which parent they want to live with? Well, number 6, as children grow, their opinions carry more and more weight with their advancing years. So as children enter their later teen years, 15, 16, 17, judges generally give their preference far more consideration. But even then, the court won't rubber stamp the request. The child's reasoning still needs to be sound, and the environment must be safe and stable. Age matters, and it matters more and more as the child grows, but maturity and motive always matter more. And what if the child says they're just not going to follow that placement order? That happens quite often. That is number 7. Until the age of 18, the court order stands. Even if your child says they are refusing placement, the court's order still stands until they turn 18 or are legally emancipated. If the current plan isn't working due to age, school, or maturity, you can always petition the court to modify the order. But remember, that change must go through the legal system. So in conclusion, can a child choose which parent to live with in Wisconsin? Not exactly. Their wishes do matter, especially as they get older. But they are never the final vote. They are only a factor in the judge's decision. The court's job is always to protect the child's long-term well-being, not just grant their request. So your child's wishes do matter, but they are usually delivered through someone called the guardian ad litem. You've heard me mention that already in this video. And they are not just the messenger. The GAL investigates your parenting, your child's needs, and reports back to the judge with real influence on custody and placement.